Man, what's going on, man? Hope y'all had a good week. Um, I did. I pray that you had a good week. I pray that, that Yah's will for your life being done. I just wanted to make this video, share my testimony and tell two stories about how adultery almost took my life twice. Um, yeah, man, like I've never been married. I've never uh, even proposed to nobody, but you ain't got to be married to commit adultery. And uh, it almost took my life, man, twice. And I just want to share my testimony and keep others from, you know, going into that fire. Um, the first time, me and this girl, we was at work, and she was married. We was cool. Nothing out of the ordinary. We were just cool, and you know, we started flirting out of the blue one day, and we exchanged numbers and everything. This was before I was saved, though. This was when I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care at all. But this was before I was saved. This time, but yeah, we exchanged numbers, and that following weekend, we met up at a club, and one thing led to another, and we kissing and everything. Nothing happened. We didn't have sex or anything like that. But Yahashua said, if you lust in your heart after a married woman, you already done committed adultery. So that same night, she texted me and she was telling me, "Come get me." And I'm like, what you got going on, man? Like, what's up? She was talking about her husband was threatening her and stuff like that. Then, you know, I'm like, man, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't, nah. But, I didn't know the severity of it until the next day. And he caught her texting me. He caught her texting me. And, according to her, all hell broke loose. So the next day, I'm at work. She told this man everything about me, how I look, what my name is, like where I work at. And we was working at the hospital, but inside the hospital, after hour, I was on second shift, so most of the hospital be closed after 5 o'clock. This was about 7:30, and it was me and two other coworkers. And I just see, we in the area closed off, just us. And I see a dude walking up, you know, and he just kept walking. So I'm like, man, what cuz, what's going on? Cause usually you see people off, in a closed area, you gonna ask them, do they need help or something? So I asked him like, what's going on, bro? You need some help. And he looked at me. He was like, "Is your name Amp?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know so and so?" I said, "Yeah." He asked me, "Was I having sex with her?" I said, "No," which I wasn't. And we was toe to toe, face to face. And he said, "All right, then." Gave me a little smirk. Then he walked off. And it was just the fact that he knew how I looked. He knew everything about me. I ain't know nothing about him. And he walked into an area where I was working at that was closed off. And this man could have killed me. He could have done anything to me. You know what I'm saying? So if he wanted to do that to me, he could have done it. And I had two of my coworkers, they seen it. So he didn't try anything, I believe, because they was there. But, the most high hand was on me that day. he didn't let nothing happen to me. Even though, this was before I was saved, but, you know, I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a purpose. And the most high hand was on me. Like, he could have done anything to me he wanted to. And I just thank God that he didn't. I was totally in the blind. And she wound up quitting the next day because it was, I had to report that my supervisor, come to find out, it was like 5 of them dudes in the hospital looking for me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what could have happened. So they came, like my supervisor came to me like, man, what's going on? Because other people was telling them like, why these guys looking for Anthony? And I'm like, man, then I told him the situation, and that's just what that was. But I just thank God that nothing happened to me. His grace and His mercy was with me. Um, Before I go into my second story, in the book of Jude it says they turned the grace of our Lord into a license to sin. You know, a lot of preachers, even Christianity, you know, they preach like, you can sin, we got grace and mercy. That ain't what it's for, man. Like, it ain't for you to go out here and, and cut up. Like, nah, like, you claiming to be a Christian, you claiming to be, all these different things when it comes to the Most High. He gonna hold you accountable for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna deal with you if you step out of line. So for me in that moment, I stepped out of line, with that woman, man. But the Most High hand was with me. It was on me. His grace was with me. He didn't allow anything to happen to me. I should have learned my lesson then, but I didn't. The second time, um, working at the hospital, different department though. This one a little different because by this time I've gotten saved. I gave my life to Christ. You know, I even started preaching. I had my trial sermon. I was moving for sure. And mind you, I was preaching. Y'all blessed me with an apartment. He blessed me with a truck. My job. I had a decent job. Man, like y'all was moving in my life. Like, he was blessing me. I was on my way, and on my way to do what he was calling me to do. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, he gonna bless me with a wife next. You know, but it's in his time. It's not mine. It's his time. So I get impatient, man. I try to do it on my own, and it was this girl that I worked with. Um, she was married, and we never did talk. We never talked, but we end up having a conversation one day. Then that led to us giving each other handshakes. Then that led to us giving each other dap. Then that led to, hey, where my hug at? You know what I'm saying? And then that led to us exchanging numbers. And then, we talking outside of work. We meeting up outside of work. Mind you, she married. You know what I'm saying? So, one day I invited her to my apartment. She came over. We chilled. One thing led to another, and we had sex. So, the Ruach, I heard him tell me, I heard him say, okay, son, you messed up. I forgive you. Don't do it again. What did I do? I did it a second time. That following week we had sex again. On a Tuesday, matter of fact. June 2015, and we had sex a second time. I felt the Holy Spirit say, "Okay, now I gotta chastise you." So immediately when I felt that, when I felt him say that, I started praying and repenting because, um, when you read the word, you know that it says, uh, he chastised those that he loved. And King David took a census when Yah told him not to, and Yah gave him three choices, and David decided to fall into the hands of the Lord, and 70,000 people died because of David one sin. Now I know there's plenty of other situations in the word where one person sinned and a whole earth swallowed up, some of the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? So there's a domino effect when it comes to sin. It don't only affect you; it affect those around you. So knowing that, I just started asking Yah to only deal with me because I sinned against him. I said, Yah, I sinned against you. I messed up. Please don't hurt anybody around me because of what I done. Please don't hurt my son. Please don't hurt my mom. Please don't hurt my two brothers, my dad. Deal with me. And I felt Yah said, okay. Yah said, okay. He granted me that. Now, I still don't know what's going to happen or how he going to chastise me. So, now that happened on a Tuesday. So, as far, the last time we had sex was on a Tuesday. The following day, I get off work. I go to my son mama house. I go to pick him up. Now, my son, he always come back with me for the night. This particular night, he didn't want to come with me. He said, "Nah, I'm gonna just stay with my mom." And all right, cool. And I'm still trying to bribe him to, you know what I'm saying, to come back with me because I want to spend time with him. But he was adamant about staying with his mama. So, this was Yah protecting him from my sin. You know what I'm saying? Little did I know. And I stayed with him a little while longer. Then I went home. Um, Wednesday night, I was asleep, and I had a dream that a tornado was chasing me, and it was like, it was violent. It was a violent chase. I was running for my life, and I hid up on the bridge. And when I hid, the tornado it didn't see me no more, so it dissipated. So I woke up, and I'm like, man, what that mean? So I immediately started reading Psalm 91, and I read it over and over again. Then I got my dictionary. I said, I'm gonna look up tornado, and of course, it's a weather event, but it also means that it was a second definition that said change, chance to rebuild. And I thought about how a tornado, it'll tear a whole town up. It'll tear whatever's in its way. It'll tear it up. But it's also after it's all said and done, you can rebuild. You know what I'm saying? You can do things different. So I still didn't know what it meant. So that next morning, my apartment building, they were supposed to be doing construction on the roof on every building, and they decided to start on my building first. Why people doing construction, why people still in their apartment, I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it at that time, but guys on the roof doing construction, I'm in the bed sleep that Thursday morning, and I hear them bamming with their hammer, doing what they do, on the roof, and I heard that last knock with the hammer, and the roof collapsed. The whole roof just collapsed on me in my bedroom. Like, you know, it's like, man, the skies just opened up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have no time to react. All I could do was just brace myself for the impact. And it was I should have been dead. Like, I should have been gone. You know what I'm saying? I should have been up out of here. But yeah, it's grace, it's mercy, it's everlasting. You know what I'm saying? Um, the impact, man, it was crazy. Like, the roof collapsed on me. I'm on the top. I'm sorry, I'm on the top floor. It's two floors. I'm on the top floor. So when my roof collapsed, the lady up under me, my floor, her roof, it collapsed on her. Cause her mom had to be transported to the hospital with me. Cause some debris hit her mom. You know what I'm saying? It was that bad. Like I said, I had no time to move or nothing. I was stuck, and you know, it was just it pancaked me, smushed me. I had an air mattress, and the impact busted my air mattress, so that gave me a little cushion. You know what I'm saying? So I was sleep. I sleep on my stomach and my side. This particular time, I was sleep on my stomach, and I had my head turned at an angle. And when it hit me, it was like the perfect accident. Like, it was just perfect. I can't even explain it to you. Like, if I was sleep any other way, I'd be dead right now. I would have died then. But the way I was sleep, it was so perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was perfect. And when it happened, it happened so fast I couldn't react. You know, all the debris was on top of me. I was smushed. I had a gash. I walked away with a gash on my on the side of my eye. I had gashes in my leg where I had to get stitches, and my hand and my wrist was bruised and swole real bad. But I'm gonna get to that. And but I had my one of my legs was free, and the guys seen me kicking my leg, so they jumped down immediately and they started pulling all the stuff off top of me, and they picked me up, carried me to the steps, and my neighbors was outside. They heard the noise. So my neighbor called 911, and then she called my mom for me. My mom got off work, came, and you know, they put me in. The lady I was telling you about that, stayed up under me. They had me and her in the ambulance together, and it was rough, man. Like, I literally lost everything. I had to move back home. Um, it was so bad that the building I stayed in was cracked. Like, it was like split. So they had to evacuate everybody out that building, and it was bad. I lost everything, like everything that was beside me in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lost it. My phone, everything, all material. But you don't think about it at that time. You just know that you lost everything. And one of the guys that was managing the apartments, he did go in and somehow get my wallet and my truck keys and stuff like that. So I did get my wallet and my keys, but I went to my parents' house with what I had on, and that's all I had. That was it. So 5 or 10 minutes of pleasure cost me almost my life. Yeah, like sin is nothing to play with. Like when you when you claiming to be, I'm an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Like the Most High revealed to me who I am. I don't take that lightly. But there was a time where I did take things lightly, and y'all dealt with me. He chastised those that he loved. So if you willfully sinning and you doing things that you know you should not be doing, y'all gonna deal with you. He gonna come holler at you for sure. And you just and if you go through that, share that with people because you can save them from that fire. Cause man, you don't wanna go through something that you ain't gotta go through for real. You don't wanna do that. Don't put yourself through that, my brother. Sister, don't put yourself through that. If you ain't gotta go through it, don't go through it. Brothers, like, run from that immoral woman, man. Run from that Jezebel, man. Run from Delilah, man. Sisters, run from that brother that he ain't walking with the Most High Yah. Run from that brother. Man, it's not a game out here, man. It's not. 5 minutes of pleasure almost cost me my life. And I thank Yah that my son felt that. My son told me he felt like something wasn't right, that he didn't want to go with me. At the time, my son was probably like, uh, he was like 7. My son was he was like 6 or 7 at that time. So 6, 7 year old telling me like, nah, I ain't about to go over there. You know what I'm saying? I can laugh at it now, but then, my son didn't want to come with me. He knew someone right, and I almost died, man, because I chose to commit adultery 2 times. I almost got killed 2 times. There's no third time, man. I ain't playing with y'all, man. I don't want you to play with him neither. That's why I want to tell you what I've been through to save other people from, going down that path, man. That ain't what you want, man. And it don't stop there because, mind you, I told you my wrist and my hand was swole real bad. My job, I worked at the hospital, so I dealt with patients. I had to transport, move patients, man. That's a lot of physical work. I couldn't even take a wash up with my left hand, let alone lift a patient. I couldn't go to work. My doctor at the time, he was a white man and he was racist. And that just being honest. All my vacation was gone. Now mind you, I lost everything. And then once my vacation was gone, after they paid it out to me, I ain't get no more paychecks. I had to try to get FMLA. So the accident happened June 2015. I was out until August 2015. So the whole month of July, I had no money. I was broke. I just lost everything. I almost lost my life. Lost everything material wise. Now I ain't got no money either. Man, I was going through it at that time, man. All because I chose sin. So trying to get FMLA, doctor don't want to, write the right information down. So they kept denying me. And I'm like, man, why y'all denying me? Like, this is what's going on. Sir, we send out the information. The doctors fill it out. We look at it, and what he's telling us is you not nothing is really wrong with you. So I get the paperwork and I look at it, I'm like, he ain't put nothing on about my wrist and my hand. He said nothing about that. All he said was I had a gash and I had some stitches. Nothing about my hand and my wrist. So we literally get into a bad argument. And mind you, at this time, that boy ran up in that church in Charleston, killed them people. Michael Brown got murdered. Then, they took the Confederate flag down. So I'm just assuming he mad about all that to the point where he take out on me, his patient. You know what I'm saying? Like the medical field, man, how they treat us, man. Listen, man. But that's another video. But yeah, like I went through all that, man, because I chose sin. So me and him get into it bad to the point where he don't want to put the right information down. I'm trying to tell him like, look, man, my hand messed up, man. Look, man, you see how swollen it is, bro. Like, I think you okay. That's all he kept saying. I think you okay. And we get into it, man, to the point where like the people in his office had attitudes with me. So I'm like, man, refer me to a hand specialist, man. And it took a while, but he referred me to a hand specialist. And the hand specialist was the opposite of this man. He actually helped me. He did an MRI of my hand and my wrist, and everything. I had no broken bones or nothing. I just had a bad bone bruise. So he kept me out of work an additional, 2 or 3 weeks, and he helped me, man. He helped me a whole lot. He was the opposite of my doctor, the hand specialist, and he ain't my doctor no more for sure, but at that time he was, and he finally, filled out the right information and submitted so I can get my FMLA. By this time, I done went back to work, so I was out of work for like a month and a half to 2 months. I almost died, lost everything, no money. You know, I was in a bad place, man, all because I chose sin. And I got back pay. You know, when it all got approved and everything, they gave me back pay. I know what y'all thinking. I did get a lawyer. I was compensated for the roof collapsing on me. Um, I might have not got back as much as I wanted, but I was looking at it from a spiritual standpoint because y'all taught me a lesson. Don't play with him. And man, like you can't play with the Most High, man. He ain't he ain't some kid, a kid at the playground that you can just play with. Like nah, he's at a snap of a finger, it can be over with. Not before a snap of the finger, it can be over with. You see what I'm saying? Like man, he ain't playing, man. The Most High, he ain't playing when it comes to his children and sin. You gotta make a choice. At some point, you gotta make a choice. Like he gonna give us, like I said, with the Book of Jude, they turn the grace of our Lord and license to sin. Y'all gonna give us time to get it right, but at some point, you gotta get it right. You have to. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I lost everything, man, and you know, at that time, that's when I found out I was an Israelite. Charles and 9 happened, or my accident happened. Charles and 9 happened. Michael Brown get murdered. I was watching a Christian news channel. I don't want to say their name because I don't know how this YouTube stuff works. As far as putting people name in your videos and things like that, I don't know. But I ain't gonna say their name. But it's who they is. And it was an old man on the and he was talking about Mike Brown. He said Mike Brown sold It's not worth mourning over because he stole something out the store. And I'm like, that just hit me. It hit me different because I done stole plenty of things, and I'm thinking about what just happened to me and how the Most High literally saved my life. Who is you to tell me that my soul is not worth mourning over, or what happened to me is not, like, who is you, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that just showed me that there's no remorse for us at all. There's no remorse for from a baby to you 100 years old. If you black, there's no remorse for you. It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? But we don't need that remorse. We got we covered, man. We covered by the blood of the lamb, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's what he said, and I took. I was angry, and I took what he said. I took it to the Most High. He's a predominantly well-known Christian. Uh, People know him. He well known, and they gonna listen to what he say. Like what he says echoes what other people believe. And I've seen with my own eyes how you know white Christians, most of them, how they think about us, and it's sad. A lot of black Christians think the same thing. People in general, like I ain't even gonna just say Christian, like people in general, they have no regard for us. Like we don't even have no regard for us sometimes, to be honest. But the Most High, he took me through his scriptures and showed me everywhere that validated why I felt how, like why I feel how I feel, and who I was, and who my people is. And that's how I came into the knowledge of, me being who I am, because the Most High, me crying out to him about what I went through, what happened in Charleston and Michael Brown, y'all showed me why we go through what we go through. And we Israel. Like we are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the God of Israel, Yah, our Elohim, and he ain't to be played with. you know, and I wanted to share my testimony because I know that it can help. It can help others. That's the whole reason for me to make a YouTube channel and post videos. Just sharing what I've been through and hoping that I can save other people from that fire, man. Like I said, you don't want to put yourself through something that you ain't got to go through. Brothers, run from Jezebel, man. Run from Delilah, man. Run from sin, man. Sisters, run from these brothers that ain't got themselves together, that's not living for the Most High. You gotta run from these men, man. Like, we can't play with our soul. Hopefully you hearing what I went through. Man, y'all ain't playing with his people, man. You can't claim that you know him, you love him, you live for him, and you sin it. You let me clarify this. So it's one thing that you struggle with something and you getting it right. Cause we all struggling with something and we getting it right. We working on that thing. But there are some things you just should not do anymore. Period. There's no excuse for it. For me, that was sleeping with a married woman. That should have never happened. It did, and y'all dealt with me for real, in a real way. He saved my life. He gave me grace and mercy. Even blessed me financially in my storm. I paid my truck off, and I was able to help my mom. Make sure my son was straight. My family, like, even though I went through what I went through, y'all still blessed me. So, Even though, we go through these storms, Yah still gonna protect us and cover us. And He covered me that day, and still cover me to this day. And I just hope you hear this testimony, and you know that you choose life, man. Choose Yah. Choose, Yahashua. I know some people say, you know, uh, some people say, Jesus' name the way they say it, the way it was revealed to them. I say Yahashua because that's what was revealed to me. I dream a lot. Um, so the Most High, He showed me things. When He want to show me something, it's usually a dream, and they usually vivid. You know what I'm saying? Like a tornado was chasing me, and I literally was like, felt like I was running for real. You know what I'm saying? Um, but man, I just hope you receive my words, and you know, um, just know it's not a game out here, man. Like the Most High love His people, and you know, like our ancestors, what took uh, what was supposed to took 2 weeks turned into 40 years. We gotta learn from their mistakes. We gotta get in that word and learn, the laws and statutes of the Most High, because, His laws keep us set apart. It teaches us and shows us how to live. Like the Messiah, like I always say, the Old and the New Testament go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people read Paul's letters and they get confused because they don't know the rest of the scriptures. And truthfully, everything Paul say, it go hand in hand with the rest of the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You just, you know, we can't pick and choose when certain things apply and when it don't, especially when it comes to grace and mercy. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I just pray that you receive this testimony, this message, and even if it's just one person, man, if one person said, man, I ain't about to, because I don't know what you going through. I don't know what you got going on your job, or, wherever you at in your life, but man, like, run from sin, man. Run from sin. Run from adultery. Run from sin. Trust me, it ain't worth it. It ain't. So man, now I hope this video finds you. And Yah bless you, man, for real. Yah is good. I'm still here. You still here. His hand is on me. His hand is on you, for sure. I'll see y'all next video. Peace.